Okay, I gotta paste this to the front of my video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I keep forgetting to say that. Thanks, guys. Mwah. Okay, howdy, guys. I'm here to give you cold, hard facts. Well, an opinion based on cold, hard facts. I have my, all my trackers here. I know a lot of people laughed about these trackers. Oh, they're keeping track of OTAs, mini camp. Well, guess what? The team is. The point of OTAs, mini camp, is for guys, for them to find out who are their guys. They got some guys that are written in stone, but there are other guys. They've got people that they've drafted. They got drafted free agents. It's all a contest going on across the country. It's not just the Cleveland Browns. Now, the Cleveland Browns are odd in that they have a quarterback competition going on, whereas most teams, all teams, have their quarterback. Good or bad, they know who their quarterback is. The Cleveland Browns are still trying to figure it out. What's good about that is that many people are getting reps that normally wouldn't. That's what's important. That's the most important thing, are reps. And because of this competition, undrafted free agents, guys drafted in late rounds, which the Browns don't have any of that because they traded the rest of their picks, if I recall it correctly, to get Shedeur. So Shedeur was their last pick in the 5th round. So normally those guys, the Dylan Gabriels, the Shadores, they wouldn't be getting any reps. Or they would get very few reps. So few reps that it would be virtually impossible for them to prove themselves enough to make the team, let alone be a starter. At best, they could be on a practice squad. So because of this competition, this quarterback competition, they need all the guys they can get. Guys that normally wouldn't get reps are getting reps because they need them so that the quarterbacks can get reps. All the quarterbacks can get reps, including Shedeur, who, judging by the reps, he started out as the 4th guy out of this competition because Deshaun Watson is there too. So they actually have 5 quarterbacks. But this competition is with 4 guys, and Shedeur started out at the bottom. But he came out in rookie minicamp balling. He was balling in rookie minicamp. It matters. I don't know why people are saying, oh, they don't have pads on and this and that. They're not doing this stuff for nothing, guys. They're not doing it for fun. They're evaluating these guys. So, yes, it matters. What matters most, though, what told me what I needed to know are the reps. Y'all can't see all my charts, and I may list some up as needed. But we started out with OTAs. So OTAs were 2 weeks, three practices in each week, and the media was only able to go there once each week, every Wednesday. So we got these 2. And we saw that starting out in OTAs, Shedeur, I'm going to lift this up. Week 1 of OTAs, Shedeur was QB4. You know why? Because he had the lowest number of reps. Pickett and Gabriel, 1 and 2. They had the same number of reps. Flacco, 3. Everybody keeps saying that Flacco's a starter. I don't know why y'all think that. I guess y'all think that because he's old or whatever happened to him in 2023 and he took them to the play. No. He wasn't even number 1 here. The reps is what matters. And the fact of the matter is, Pickett and Gabriel had the most reps. I don't even need to go into why. They 1 and 2. They tie. And then came Flacco. And then came Shedeur. So Shedeur was last on that first one. but he got 9 reps. That is unheard of. But he got all those reps with undrafted free agents who would normally not get reps. So they had 9 reps. Because that's who Shedeur was with, undrafted free agents. That's who he was with. All those undrafted free agents getting reps. And they got reps in rookie minicamp too, and 2 of them got signed. Thanks to Shedeur throwing to him, because Shedeur is the wide receiver whisperer. All right? So that was the first one. Shedeur was last. He was QB4. Let's see if he moved up. In the next one, this was the following week. A week, that's 3 days of him balling out. He was balling out for 3 days. We only got these numbers for 1 day. But he was balling out for 3 days. Let's see what happened the next week. Just like that. Bam. This is what I'm talking about. Y'all talking about wrong things. Y'all talking on emotion and all this, that, and the third. So, on the next week, OTAs, when media was able to come, Gabriel is looking like the guy. I don't have the completion percentages here to know why Gabriel moved up to number 1. Gabriel had 20 reps. That's number 1 on the depth chart. Pickett, number 2 with 15 on the depth chart. So Gabriel moved up. Shedeur moved up to number 3. They ain't jumping him up 2 rows and all this, that, and the third. They're moving him up little by little. He's still working with the undrafted free agents, and I think he might be getting some third string in by this time now. Flacco, who people keep saying is going to start, now getting the least amount of reps. He was already 3rd, now he's 4th. Flacco ain't starting nothing, okay? He's in 4th now. So, Shedeur is right there with Pickett at this point. Oh, shucky ducky now. Okay? His work is paying off. He's got the 3rd largest number of reps. Flacco is not starting, guys. Flacco about to get cut, okay? This is what I'm thinking. Based on this. So this is OTAs, okay? So Shedeur done worked his way up to QB3. He was QB4. He done worked his way up to QB3 by the 2nd week. Then we go into mandatory minicamp, because before this, even though, they were like, Dylan's getting reps with the ones, he wasn't getting a lot of reps with the ones, if we're being honest. The reporters were telling us. He was getting reps with the ones. He'd get a couple of reps with the ones, and then they send him back over there with Shedeur. But he was getting them, because at this point in OTAs, which were not mandatory, and plenty of people were not there, including Njoku, which is very important. He wasn't there. But Dylan was getting some reps with that. Okay, he was number 1. He started out, him and Pickett tied, and then he went to number 1. And Shedeur right behind Pickett on his tail. Folks ain't paying enough attention to this. Y'all worried about completion percentages and what have you. No, it's the reps. Okay, then, first day of mandatory mini camp. Let's see, I ain't even looked at this good. I'm looking at it good for the first time right now. Let me look. Flacco. Guys, now people were saying, well, Flacco didn't get any reps because he knows the system and they don't need to see anything from him. This is practice. This is practice. There is no good reason to not get reps. Because just because he knows the playbook, like the playbook doesn't change year after year, he needs to know the players. He needs to get comfortable with the players. They're not even allowing him to do that. Flacco's getting cut. I don't know who you're. So many people are saying that Flacco's starting. No, he ain't. He's not even getting practice. So he cut down to 0. And what did I tell you about Pickett and Shedeur? On the last OTA, Shedeur was only 1 behind Pickett. By the first day of minicamp, Shedeur got more reps than Pickett. Gabriel's still number 1. Dylan Gabriel, first day of minicamp. Shedeur, QB2. And he started getting reps with the twos. He's moving up. I see what they're doing. He's moving up little by little. Kenny Pickett moving down. Flacco is out. Okay? This is day 1 of mandatory minicamp. Everyone's there. Let's look at day 2. Okay, so day 2, we done switched. Shedeur is third again, and they giving Pickett reps, but Dylan Gabriel been getting the most reps. I'm just looking at this now, just with y'all. Dylan Gabriel getting the most reps all along. The first day of OTAs, he got the same amount as Pickett, but after that, he's getting the most reps. The second day of OTAs that they got the numbers for, because they only were there twice out of 6 times, he had 20 reps. But he didn't do good. But they keep trying with him. They still keep trying. And so here he goes again. This is day 2 of mandatory minicamp. Dylan Gabriel still getting the most reps. I don't know what they trying to make him. They trying to make fetch happen with Dylan Gabriel. I don't know why, but they trying. So, Kenny Pickett got a couple more reps than Shedeur. They trying to make something happen with him too, but I think they starting to see it ain't really going to happen, but they trying. Shedeur still balling out, okay? And he got more than Flacco. They gave Flacco some reps, and he didn't do good. 3 of 7, okay? So Flacco's out, guys, okay? All right, that's day 2 of mandatory minicamp. Day 3, mandatory minicamp. Shedeur still QB3. Now, Shedeur been QB3 ever since day 2 of OTAs. Day 2 that media could be there. 2 of 6 days. Shedeur is still QB3. So, Flacco is out, guys. I'm afraid to tell you. Flacco out. So, now Shedeur is still in number 3. They still trying to make something happen with Kenny. And Kenny seemed to be doing a little better. He got 8 of 11. I think that was his best day. Yeah, 8 of 11 was his best day out of all these days. He had a good day on the last day of mandatory minicamp. He had an okay day. He didn't have as good a day as Shedeur. He had an okay day. And Dylan Gabriel had his best day too. 10 out of 13, not bad. Not as good as Shedeur, but not bad. Okay? Okay. So, as we can see, Shedeur is QB3 right now. Going into training camp, I do believe that he has earned to move up to QB2. I've been saying this all along. I don't necessarily say it on video. I may say it in the comments somewhere. But it seemed to me that to me, Shedeur should be QB1. Honestly. He's earned QB1 out of all these days. He's earned QB1, but he's working his way up. But he already was working with the 2s. Now it's time for him to work with the 1s. I'm interested to see when training camp starts, where's he going to be? Where's Dylan Gabriel going to be? They keep giving Dylan Gabriel all these chances, and the fact remains that he's not on Shedeur's level. I don't slander Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel had very similar stats to Shedeur in that final year of college. I go on the final year. I ain't going on the whole thing. What would you like last year? That's all I can do. What would you like last year? I know that Flacco was not great last year. I know that Kenny Pickett did okay being a backup for the Eagles, but not okay enough to steal Jalen Hurts' job. We know Shedeur balled out last year. They weren't perfect. He was revamping a program. So they couldn't go from 0 to 100 in 2 seasons, but he darn near did. Okay. So we know Shedeur did. I watch. I'm gonna see you, Auntie. So I watched Shedeur. I know how he did. I know his process. And maybe some of these guys not performing well in practice had to do with the fact that Shedeur takes practice more seriously than most. I'm very familiar with their process at Colorado. And Shedeur, you know, they're seeing Shedeur come late, come early and leave late every day. Sorry about that little weather. Well, as a person who followed closely in Colorado, I already knew that was his process. Coming early, leaving late, working on the days off with the wide receivers. They made everything happen in Colorado with Shedeur and the wide receivers. Defense could fall apart all they want. Shedeur and the wide receivers were going to make it happen. I don't know who the tight ends were at Colorado. I don't know who the did they have running backs and tight ends at Colorado? I have no idea. I don't know who they were. It was all about Shedeur and the wide receivers. Sorry about that. And the wide receivers. So, and he practiced with them on off days. I don't know how he can get these professional guys to buy into his system. But I know he's going to try to. I know he is, because that's his nature. Shedeur is very domineering and pushy, and he wants to practice on off days, wide receivers. And now he has to get acclimated also with working with running backs and tight ends. Something he didn't have to do with Colorado. I don't know who their tight ends were. I don't know who their running backs were. But I know a plethora of wide receivers in Colorado because they just kept coming. They could get one, two, three can get injured, and they still kept coming. I don't know. Colorado was serious about them wide receivers in Shedeur. And as you know, 3 of their wide receivers got drafted in the last draft, which was the most of any college. And they're making waves in the NFL. All 3 of those wide receivers from Colorado. Okay? So, let's look at the final. This is from minicamp. I had one for OTAs, but OTAs were not mandatory and a lot of people weren't there. So let's look at minicamp. As I said, Dylan Gabriel right now is at the top of the depth chart. I don't know what that's about, because that woman, that journalist from Cleveland.com, claimed that Kenny Pickett was their guy. And they are trying to give Kenny Pickett as much as possible. They did try. But Kenny Pickett, my homeboy, he's so mid. He mid, y'all. And I think they seeing that. He done had plenty of opportunities, because all those guys might not have been there, but all the quarterbacks been there for OTAs and minicamp. All of the quarterbacks were there. So they tried to give Kenny Pickett opportunity. They ain't give him as much as Dylan Gabriel. I know it's backwards. They trying to make Dylan Gabriel work. Dylan Gabriel got 30 more reps than Shedeur. Reps is what matters, guys. This is what tells you your depth chart. This is the depth chart right here. So Dylan Gabriel was QB1. Y'all talking about Pickett and Flacco? No. It was Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel, QB1. So, but he had 30 more reps than Shedeur and only 7 more completions. That matters. The number of completions matters, because it shows what you're doing with those reps you're getting. Shedeur making them count. 41 out of 53. 48 out of 83, despite the fact that they had similar stats than last year in college. Dylan Gabriel had a high percentage of completions also above 70, just like Shedeur. Dylan Gabriel had that. I wrote it down. But when you bring it into the real world, see, Shedeur was getting at his 70% without help, with just wide receivers. I don't know who the running backs and the tight ends are And nobody on defense from Colorado went to the NFL that I know of. Shedeur and the wide receivers were making it happen in Colorado with not much else to work with. And now it's coming out. Now you're seeing it. That's why even though him and Dillon Gabriel, Dillon had all the resources in the world, yet his stats were similar to Shedeur, who had no resources. Very limited resources. So now it's coming out. So to me, based on this, and I believe, based on my analysis, performance matters. Shedeur been moving up the depth chart. So he done got up to 3. But Kenny Pickett, if they keep trying to go with Kenny Pickett, they wasting time. Develop them rookies. And really, Shedeur is number 1. I don't want to say it because I'm going to see you, auntie, and they're going to say I'm biased. I'm going on the cold hard facts. Flacco, less reps than everybody by a country mile. Darn near 20 less reps than Shedeur. Okay, so Shedeur passed him a long time ago. Shedeur, QB3 as of mandatory minicamp. Pickett, QB2. Gabriel, QB1. Shedeur done leaped over all of them, but they don't seem to be letting him do that. So I'm thinking, well, for one thing, the media will not be allowed in training camp for the first few days. They're gonna have, I think the media comes in the 22nd, but it starts on the 18th or something like that. So they're gonna have time to build up to it, right? But I'm saying at a minimum, Shedeur will be QB2 by then. He's going to be getting reps with the ones. They can keep trying to force this Dillon Gabriel thing all they want. They done gave Dillon all the opportunities in the world. He's been getting all the reps, and he hasn't proven himself. I like to think that matters to Kevin Stefanski. I think that matters. So we're going to see what happens that first day of training camp when the media is allowed to be there. That's the 22nd, 25th, something like that. Whatever day it is in July that they're allowed to be there. I pray that ESPN Cleveland keeps keeping track of this. I don't care about the percentage and all this, that, and the third per se. It shows what they're doing. But I already know, see, Shedeur is my guy. I already know that Shedeur is going to produce in practice. He takes it so seriously. He always has. So I already know that. It seems to me that first day that we see the media in there, if they keep track of the reps, Shedeur will be 2 at a minimum. Maybe they keep trying to force this Dillon Gabriel thing, because they are clearly trying to force this Dillon Gabriel thing. They keep giving him the most reps, except for that first day. They keep giving him the most reps, and it's been continuing, so they can say, hey, we gave the guy we drafted in the 3rd round, we gave him every opportunity to win this job. We really, really did, and he didn't. And therefore, that is why, by the time the media gets to training camp, honestly, Shedeur should be QB1 by then. If not, he should at least be QB2. They can't keep trying to force this Kenny Pickett thing. Or they can, but it looks stupid. It looks dumb to me. You tell me. He keeps underperforming. He performs less than Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur. So the rookies are outperforming those veterans that y'all picked up. Y'all might as well go on. I'm waiting to hear about his trade any day now. Definitely a Flacco. In fact, you don't even have to trade him. Who wants him? I don't know. I don't think anybody will want him. But maybe you could try to trade him. But he's probably just going to get cut. No offense, Flacco. You had a great career, bro. You got you a Super Bowl. You got an MVP. You did that thing, honey, to the fullest. Gone retire, baby. It's over for you. In Cleveland, anyway. That's what it looks like to me. Now, somebody said, there's many leaks in the building. Plenty of leaks in favor of Shedeur, but recently somebody gave a link talking about Kenny Pickett. I don't know who that was. And then Deontay Johnson said Kenny Pickett also. Child, Deontay Johnson was on 12 teams last season. His opinion doesn't matter. But this person hearing that Kenny Pickett is somehow the guy and he's performing at a QB3 level, if Cleveland does that, then I'm sure they crazy. They just crazy. They make all kind of crazy decisions. If they continue to keep Kenny Pickett, if they try to make him QB1, he ain't been QB1 so far. At no point. Only the first OTAA where media was allowed to go did he have the same number of reps as Dillon Gabriel. After that, no. He was already pushed back to QB2. So I don't know why people are saying QB1 for Pickett. It's the reps, guys. In normal circumstances, these guys will not be getting reps. These, the Shedeurs, the Dillon Gabriels. Somebody said, who was that? That guy from Cleveland.com. Look, I don't mention the names of reporters from Cleveland.com because they don't like Shedeur, and Shedeur is my nephew. And so you will not get no clicks from me. You will not get nothing from me. I ain't even saying your name. But there's this guy who seems to think that Cleveland wants to get their quarterback next year. For what? Get your quarterback next year for what? Those guys are unproven. You better work with what you got right now. You got Shedeur Sanders right now. And he's going to work his butt off to win. And he's going to harass his teammates. Poor babies. He's going to harass them to death to win. Guys, I need y'all to come in on your day off and please let me throw with you. Let me gel with you. The running backs, I ain't used to running back. I ain't had to deal with running backs in 2 seasons. Work with me. Shadore's going to do that. That's what he does. Work with me on the day off, please. I need to get proficient with you guys. I need us to be on the same page. I need us to breathe and sync. That's what Shedeur is going to do. I don't know what Dillon Gabriel is going to do. Struggle to look over the line. He's struggling. Kenny Pickett is certainly struggling like he always has. He's less than mid. I don't know why Stefanski thought he was the answer to anything, but he's not. You got 2 rookies that are better than him. And one of them is 5'2". And still better than Kenny Pickett. No offense, Kenny. You my homeboy, and I love you, and I'll be rooting for you. But you're mid. You're not QB1 material. So, that's that. That's my thought. Based on facts. They've been pushing Dillon Gabriel as QB1. Because it seemed to me that guy from Cleveland.com was right. They don't think their quarterback they didn't think their quarterback was in this year's draft. But it turns out it was Shedeur, who they took at 5. For whatever reason, that the NFL let him slide the way they did. They don't know his process like we do. They don't know how he will do anything to win. They don't know how he will harass his teammates to death to win. But they learning. Cleveland's learning. So, if Shadore's not QB2 that first day in training camp, I'll be surprised. But quite frankly, he deserves to be QB1. We'll see. I just wanted to get that out there. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Mwah.